Hi, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Christopher. Hi, Paul. Hi, all of our friends out there. I feel like this is like my final tour because this is the last video that I think I'm going to be doing before I have a baby.
Yeah.
So at the point where we're filming it right now and the point that it is airing, which is a week later, I will be having a baby in just a few days. Isn't that
so
crazy?
Nuts.
Isn't that so nuts?
So nuts.
So nuts. We have been, all of us have been surviving this pregnancy since last July.
Well, I mean, you are the one that's experiencing
the most, but
it has been
the team has been a big part of it, though.
We talk about it a lot, and the passage of time is especially wild, I think, right now. In some part, it feels like just observing this has been a matter of maybe 3 or 4 months, and then experiencing it, in the day-to-day has also been like 6 years. It's been a long time. And I've been very truthful, and we're here for the fashion. We know that, not for. But this is truly my last video that I'm going to be on before having this baby. Next time you're back, we'll have a new
adult shop baby. So that's going to be very, very wonderful and exciting and fun and a new chapter for all of us.
Yeah.
But I've been pregnant since UFDC last July.
Bonkers.
And it's been a long haul. So thank you all for being with us for all of this, and the wonderful team that has been doing so well, and the fact that I can do all this is pretty wonderful.
Yeah.
So we are here for our Grace unboxing. This is our unboxing for March, and this is a very exciting box, and it's going to take people by surprise, I think, because it's a bit of a juxtaposition. We have luxurious layers, which is, we're going to put some photos on the screen that Christopher took and Diana edited. They're so beautiful. But this is our first of 2 boxes that feature beautiful, period authentic undergarments.
I think this is amazing. First of all, we are doing season 5 of Grace. We've been doing this for a little while now. And I think undergarments are perhaps less exciting in modern clothes today than they used to be. And having an excuse to explore why all of that was so interesting and so historically important and entertaining, if nothing else, really cool and really impressive, going back through time and history and seeing the way that those garments, both the exterior stuff you used to see on the outside and the construction of stuff beneath, was so wildly different than what we're doing at Target today. And so it feels important to, if we're really trying to do all of the fun, all of the elements of fashion, why leave any stone unturned? And undergarments are so important.
Right.
The participation of them in your wardrobe is not to be underestimated. And I think the same is true for Grace.
Very much. And when we are talking about historical fashion, if we did not do anything with undergarments, we would be skipping a big part of the history of fashion. Tamara Casey put out a wonderful pattern that is very similar to this about this time last year.
Yeah.
And as soon as she did that, I just had these dreams of putting out a hoop skirt and the Victorian undergarments, because we were doing so much Victorian fashion. And a ton of people in our subscription said, oh, it would be so wonderful if you could produce these undergarments.
Right.
So here they are. And like Christopher said, the undergarments today is a bra and underwear and a pair of Spanx. That's where it goes. So studying antique undergarments is so much fun.
It's a lot of fun.
I'm going to let you hold that, because we're going to talk about the printables and what we have for this month, which is different from all of the other months.
I think this is so cool. It did sort of become a running joke for a while before we thought this was possible, to be like, oh my gosh, what if we could have a cage crinoline,
It was
how unbelievable.
It wasn't even a thing we thought we could do.
To have boning in a fashion this way, we thought was just reaching for the moon. And maybe that's the new bar. It's we should always be aiming for the moon, because we get back things that we deem right away, we write off as being sort of not possible. And then we get things back that are not only possible, but exceed our expectations. And Ruby Red, once again, Ruby Red Galleria really, 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 really knocked this out of the park. And you, the customer, I think are being treated very kindly this month you get 4 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 5 pieces.
And the boots.
With the shoes. So it's a full ensemble. And these boots were actually designed as dressing boots for getting dressed. These are not necessarily the same pair of shoes that you wear out on the town. These are what you're wearing when you're just putting on your undergarments, and then you change into your other shoes.
We researched shoes that you wear in the dressing parlor.
Yeah.
And we'll put the picture on the screen. This is the historical image that I found that is the inspiration for these boots, which are included with your outfit.
Yeah. This is really, really, really fun. So you've got a bunch of pieces that you can wear both practically and sort of as the main occasion, right? This is a fashion that has multi-functions. So if you wanted to wear any of your other fashions from last season or many from this season, you can wear your hoop skirt under all of them and really, really blow up that fashion. I mean, I won't tell you now, dictating which ones to put it under and like, whatever, that's up to you. Go dress up, go have fun, go play. A lot of these pieces can actually be worn practically, but also this is meant to be shown as it is. This is the fashion.
Right.
In a lineup, I think the whole point of this box is that you want to highlight this as
a fashion,
a garment, right?
Right.
So if you're displaying your whole collection, this really is meant to be shown off and seen and observed, but you can also wear these pieces under others. With that in mind, many of our pieces are designed, when we're making clothing, we're tailoring it to Grace's existing body, and when you're wearing, I don't know, 3 or 4 other pieces underneath, suddenly the dimensions of one's torso begin to change. So things like jackets or things like blouses may not wear as intended for practical undergarments if you're wearing both a shirt and a corset and trousers and bloomers, and you've got the hoop skirt and whatever. So feel free to play with your wardrobe, truly, go back through it and play with your pieces and see how they wear together. But every single time I put this hoop skirt on underneath a dress, it is like, it's fireworks. It's so cool.
It's so fun. And again, like Christopher said, this outfit, we have our season 5 displayed in the back of the shop, and it is so beautiful. And this is, of course, not covered up. If we had designed all of our garments to accommodate a corset, a chemise, then they wouldn't fit otherwise, and you received those garments a year ago. So we did take some pictures of how you can display your doll with some of those past garments getting dressed, and we'll put those on the screen right now. And I think those are great inspiration for vignettes for in your collection when you're showing it off. But I personally I have it like this, and I love looking at it like this. This was inspired from multiple Victorian images, and this is exactly how these undergarments looked. Sometimes you would have a little bit different of a style, but this is how they looked in the era, and I just think it's a beautiful palette. Now,
I do too.
When we compare, don't ever compare one box to the other, because we're going on a big fashion adventure.
Yeah, sure.
And every box is very different from the next.
You guys, I think, have an idea of what we're doing this season, but like, we've even blown my mind a couple of times. So the breadth of what we're doing with the entire collection is quite large. Each month will feel different, very much so, from the last. But I think, like, to your point, it would be a disservice to this fashion to cover it up. The point is that it's shown off, so when you're going through your whole lineup, you will be, I think, delightfully surprised at the way that we are able to ping-pong around through time and through history and different points of fashion that are impactful and make a historical difference for reason. Like, there's a reason why we've gone through each of the eras that we have and each of the fashions that we have, and I hope that they really resonate with you in the same way that they do with us, because we think they're so cool.
We do, and we put so much time and effort into curating and deciding what is worthy of a box fashion. This is a phenomenal value. If we were just going to do, the thing is when we get outfits as sets, we get a better deal, so we can put that to you. But if we were just putting out a corset, it would be $40. So it's just such a one, and I don't even know how much these hoop skirts would be by themselves, because that's a lot of work to put that together.
It is.
I know some of you sewed it when Tamara made the pattern, but to me that looks like quite the afternoon.
Boning is a commitment. Yeah. So it is a really extraordinary box. Again, like, so much of what we are able to create right now is something that there's not a whole lot of other people or doll people able to make and able to do. So I don't know. I think it's exciting to explore the boundaries of what's possible. If we get to have the moon as the barrier, then we should be playing with all of it. So welcome to your undergarments box.
Welcome to your undergarments box. Again, it's one of two. The second undergarments box is absolutely amazing. Completely different from this.
Yeah.
Totally off of a museum inspiration and very, very cool. So we're very excited about both. So I won't read all of this, but we have some the printables and the things that are in the box are different this month, and I am excited of how we are presenting it. So this month we take a step behind the scenes of Victorian fashion to explore something rarely seen but absolutely essential: the foundations beneath the gown. When we admire the sweeping silhouettes of the mid-19th century, it's easy to focus on the silk skirts, the ribbons, and the elaborate trims. Yet those elegant shapes were only possible because of the carefully designed garments underneath. Chemises, corsets, drawers, and the remarkable cage crinoline work together to create the graceful bell silhouette that defined the era. The ensemble you see in this box represents that hidden architecture. Each piece reflects the thoughtful engineering and craftsmanship that allowed Victorian fashion to receive its dramatic form while still offering the wearer comfort and movement. That's very important. These were actually considered comfortable.
Can you imagine?
Compared to the undergarments earlier, where you would wear like 10 petticoats or something.
Right.
From the delicate lace of the chemise to the structured lines of the corset and the airy innovation of the crinoline, these garments tell the story of how beauty in dress was truly built from the inside out. For collectors, this set offers a rare glimpse into the structure behind the style, the garments that quietly supported some of the most iconic fashions in history. So if you are going to have this in your collection, or especially if you're going to host any type of meeting or presentation for your doll club, we put together a historical fashion box, Victorian foundations, the architecture beneath the gown, not a printable, but a informational page for you that is 2 pages that goes through each one of the items and talks about its significance. What do you think about that, Christopher?
Each element really goes through the importance and impact of why each element is important. And it also, I think it gives, I mean, if you are not someone that is inclined to study antique undergarments by yourself, it's also just like fun to read. It's informative to like learn about. And I think you mentioned like vignettes, and I think one of my favorite parts of doing dolls and collecting dolls and sharing them with people and whatever is really the creation of a whole world in miniature scale and the fixation on details. I've really taken a great pleasure lately in making dioramas and making vignettes and staging a universe in some way. And the detail that you can really fixate on in this outfit, you can point by point sort of assess the value of each of those things and the way that they contribute maybe to something like a vignette, something like a diorama. I love the idea of staging Grace getting dressed and in her boudoir, you know, making a space for her to really assess her wardrobe and go through all of the things that maybe we had from last season, things you can anticipate this year, and really learn about maybe where you're putting it in the vignette and why through something like this.
Yeah. You may know there are so many people watching that are fashion history historians and know everything back and forth, and you're just sitting here like, yeah, we know what a chemise is, we know what pantaloons are, we know what a cage crinoline is.
And God bless you.
Yeah, but you know what? Not all of us do, and also it's really important to highlight and to talk about these things and to understand why this is in your collection, why this is important for historical fashion history.
Yeah.
And this is something that I never, in my wildest dreams, thought we would be focusing on when I started this subscription. So we are having a blast right along with you. Yeah. It's been a lot of fun. Christopher especially liked our letter this month, and again, I am never going to get over the fact that these are handwritten with a feather quill pen.
Diana really went
by Diana Vining
all the way with these letters. What she's able to contribute to the subscription projects at all that we do is profound.
So we won't read it all, we'll let you enjoy it, but these are written in the style and in the words that would be in the mid-1860s, which is when this was done. And these are between two women that are talking about the innovation of the hoop skirt and how cool this was at the time. So
Right.
I'll read a little snippet for you. It's very fun to step back in time through these letters and to read what women thought about the outfits that are being exchanged. So here we have two women, Margaret and Eleanor. My dearest Margaret, this morning I received the most curious parcel from the dressmaker. Not a gown as I expected, but the very foundations upon which one must build a proper toilette. Inside were a delicate chemise trimmed with lace, a neatly fitted corset, and soft cotton drawers. But the true marvel was the cage crinoline. I had heard ladies speak of these modern conveniences, yet never seen one so closely. Its light hoops form the loveliest bell shape, and I am told it will support even the grandest skirts without the dreadful weight of layered petticoats. Standing before the mirror in these curious structures, I could not help imagining the magnificent gown that will soon rest upon them. One begins to see that elegance is often built from what lies unseen beneath. Your affectionate cousin, Eleanor. Isn't that so good?
Oh, gorgeous.
It reads and looks like an actual 1862 letter.
Yeah.
So, dear Eleanor, your letter delighted me, and I smiled at the thought of you examining your new garments with such interest. You are quite right. The crinoline is the wonder of the age. Since acquiring one myself, I can hardly imagine returning to the burden of so many petticoats. The skirts appear even more graceful, yet the wearer feels far lighter. Isn't that wild that this is what set women free in the 1860s?
A literal cage is what
Yeah.
felt freeing in the 1860s.
Fashion-wise.
It's crazy.
It's
And
crazy.
I think like the importance of that can't go understated. I think like it's novel, but it's also constructed in such an impressive way. We could rail on and on about it, but the impact of something like this has changed fashion forever. Like there's no world that we live in now that isn't informed by this period of couture, of fashion, and also of like daily wear. This might have been for a particular class of people, but it also informed the way that everything else would be constructed in the future.
And think about also how many cage crinolines survived.
Sure.
Not very many of them. So if you went to a fashion museum and that was on display,
Right.
that would be one of the favorite pieces that you saw.
Oh my gosh, I mean, I think about going through archival, situations, museum pieces, and I think the construction is the most impressive part, right? Looking at the construction of undergarments is something you may not expect to go see, but I think would, largely be one of the biggest takeaways for me is like, gosh, that's like, having hoop skirts, having cage crinolines is so bonkers.
It is so bonkers. And as a woman myself and getting dressed every day, I couldn't imagine wearing that many clothes
Right.
and how hot you'd be. And so it's just
Right.
fascinating how women moved through the world with their fashion. So this is how you're going to receive it. Comes just like this. Ruby Red Galleria did an impeccable job. All of the tailoring and sewing is absolutely beautiful. And then your wonderful boots with the little rosette on the front that are satins.
So cute.
So cute.
Really nice. The palette of the whole thing, like you said, is really pleasant. It's all pale creams and beiges. It's really lovely. It feels soft. It feels kind of spa-like. I think it's very relaxing.
Yeah.
You don't need undergarments to be like embroidered, right? So that's not the point of these. But I think they feel nice to look at. So we have Diana's paper doll. This is a really fabulous paper. All of hers are so wonderful, but this is so fun because it also shows off the pattern that Tamara made last month. So you can see when you're dressing Grace up very practically, you get dressed over your undergarments that are in your box this month. So a really, really cool idea to merge different creative voices in the subscription with this idea, but also in execution, it's gorgeous. Diana did a really lovely job capturing the detail both of Tamara's vision and of what we were doing with the undergarments themselves. Again, in a really nice sort of spa-like atrium. Her boudoir is this really lovely, sunlit, glowy, creamy room. So pretty. And of course, you've got Grace in her promise updo, which I really love. Just a great little job, Diana, as always.
This is really fun. One thing we will note for the fashion purists is that This is a 1700s era gown, and then this is 1800s era undergarments, but also who cares? It's fun, it's whimsical.
Right.
We do care, which is why we say it, but also you're allowed to do what you want.
Loosen your belt, you guys.
If you want to put this underneath your Marie Antoinette inspired outfit, do it.
Sure.
And have fun with it.
Right.
Because if you have the knowledge and you know that this is from 1860, your Marie Antoinette outfit was from 1780.
Yeah.
You can still do what you want.
Right.
You're not held by any fashion rules.
Sure.
Right?
Imagine the freedom of breaking your own rules.
Yeah.
You can have fun. This is inconsequential.
Yeah, right.
Like,
but sometimes we need that permission.
Play. Yeah, totally.
Especially when we're doing something that feels like there are rules.
Sure.
There's not still. You can still, you can have fun.
It's kind of like, I don't know, like painting or cooking. Where, like, you need to know the basic rules. And then all the fun happens when you understand why the rules are there and you feel capable of breaking them because you know how they work.
Right.
I don't mean to say that, like, dressing dolls is maybe quite as serious as, like, I don't know, oil painting in some way. There's a science to many of these things, but this is ultimately for joy and it's ultimately for play. And so if you feel confined in your restricted understanding of what's right and wrong for dressing, that's valid, and consider maybe finger painting a little bit with your doll.
Oh, totally. And just having fun with it. That's one thing that we always want to make sure that you feel from anything that we put out. If we style something a certain way, we love when you restyle it. If you change the bows on something or you do, we're never offended. We think that's so cool.
Right.
Have at it and just have a ton of fun.
Right.
So while we are speaking about patterns, our wonderful Tamara Casey she is currently at her son's wedding. And she has been working so hard getting everything ready and to us ahead of time. We've been kind of going back and forth how she's preparing for a wedding, I'm preparing for a baby, and we're trying to get everything done ahead of time. But Tamara did such a wonderful job. And so I want to share her pattern, and she's here to tell us all about it. But her pattern was, and she'll tell you about it in her clip, but it was inspired by one of the dresses she was considering for her mother of the bride outfit for her son's wedding.
Didn't know that.
And I think this is so cool. This is called Dramatic Entrance.
Oh, that's lovely.
Isn't that great?
Really lovely. Oh, such a smart design with the way that the jacket closes. That's beautiful. And the palette is so fun. Is that jacquard? She did a great job.
It's so good. And
Gorgeous
it's a great
fabric
juxtaposition to what we're putting out this month. So
it is, yeah.
Come on in, Tamara Casey, and tell us all about it.
Time surely does fly, as here we are already at month 2 of the Club Grace subscription program. Rachel and I spoke about interspersing some modern outfits with the beautiful historic fashions of season 5. The timeless underpinnings arriving in this month's box will be the perfect complement for your historic outfits. If you're interested in creating something similar, I'll refer you back to the historic silhouette pattern from season 4. The March pattern is a reflection of my own fashion inspiration as I found myself perusing photographs to find the perfect mother of the groom dress. At the time this video airs, Joel and I will be in Dublin, Ireland, prepared to watch the union of Jacob and his beautiful wife Hannah at a castle wedding. Although I chose a different fashion than the one shown in this month's pattern, I knew it would be the perfect addition to Grace Fitzpatrick's beautiful wardrobe. The pattern is called Dramatic Entrance. It features a strapless body slimming evening gown, close fitted through the torso and the hips, with a zipper back closure and a slit in the hemline. The overskirt coat features 3/4 length sleeves and a wide stand collar, and a floor length skirt forming a dramatic train-like effect. A sculptural bow at the waist creates the perfect focal point for the ensemble. When creating this beautiful design, I can see it made in a rich variety of brocade, gorgeous fabrics, and I hope you feel the same inspiration. I look forward to seeing your personal interpretations of this look, and as always, I can't wait to see what you make.
So now we're to a portion of our video, which I have been having so much fun because now we've been almost every release here, and for the next 6 Grace releases, we are going to have an add-on that is a doll. I love this.
Oh, this is so fun.
This is so fun.
It makes every month feel like Christmas.
It does. So we have been blessed to have a series of the latest Robert Tonner Lacy Churchill dolls land in our doll shop. Robert asked if we could help release these dolls, and we said absolutely yes.
Yeah.
And this is the first of 6 of Lacy Churchill. So should we, let's see, let's get her.
As I say, you might have already noticed in the back
Right.
of this set, there's a new face that's dressed in some undergarments.
Yeah.
But let's show the doll as she comes.
Yes. So we're going to talk all about Lacy. Who is Lacy Churchill?
Who's Lacy?
What are we doing here?
Right.
Why she's a wonderful companion, and just how beautiful this doll is.
Yeah.
And how mix and matchable the clothing is.
Ah.
That's the biggest sell. That's why it's in this video
Sure.
instead of on the side.
Right.
Because it's a great companion for Grace.
They aren't the exact same body,
No.
but they are darn close.
Darn close.
And I'll just come out and say, Lacy is so beautiful,
Yeah,
you guys. This face
This
is
sculpt is
unbelievable. This doll is so stunning. Let me go grab the booklet because I want to read about
Yeah.
There's a really lovely bit of lore that you can get with your new Lacy purchase in there, and there's a little teaser for other, dolls maybe coming in the future.
So Lacy Churchill is such a beautiful doll. She's an executive. She works for Momax Studios. She is very fashion model-esque,
Yeah.
but she's also a go-getter, badass lady who goes and seals deals, saves the studio.
Sure.
Also while looking so gorgeous.
Yeah.
I love this.
I won't say it on camera, but go look up the acronym for HBIC. This is that Lacy is,
Yeah.
is the.
She's out there slaying.
She is. So when you get this incredible doll, by the way, everyone take a moment. I mean, she's so stunning.
Look at the cropped hair. I just can't.
The hair is in
I
the
just
sleeve.
cannot. I know.
The gown, the earring. Every single bit of this is so striking, and I love
fashion.
the way those sequins really come up on camera. A little lore about her when you get your.
You're going to get a
your
big sneak
doll.
peek
I know,
because this is a lookbook.
There are some other fashions and dolls in here.
It has
that you
all
can
6 dolls.
expect in the collection.
So you'll get to see. We're not going to if you get it and you bootleg it and share it with other people, that's okay.
Sure.
But you're going to see this when you get your doll.
It'll still be a surprise which doll you're getting what month.
That's
but
true.
You will get a sort of teaser for what to expect. So to reiterate her lore, this says plot twist. When the board asked for a miracle at Momax Studios, they got Lacy Churchill. Thrust from domestic production into the CEO's chair, Lacy has to save the company's reputation while navigating a scandal that wasn't her fault. She knows business and she knows the players, and now she has the whole wardrobe to prove she belongs at the head of the table. And you can sort of see in the other lookbook, fashions, what she might wear
she's doing,
to
what
a
she's
meeting,
wearing.
where she's going.
After parties, New York Fashion Week. Lots of fun. So Christopher had a blast photographing and getting this
God.
doll ready. We looked at all 6 and they're all so cool.
So beautiful.
But this one right here screams Met Gala.
Totally.
I love everything about it. So we're gonna talk about her body and why she's a great complement to your Grace series.
Yeah. So you can actually see, I'll show you in
Yes,
Grace.
here.
Side by side.
Here is Grace wearing the
our
fashion.
passion doll from our latest release. I really love this doll in this outfit.
Yeah.
She normally comes with a little blue hair ribbon that's just pinned into her head. And as much as I love that little blue ribbon, I said, well, it's a little youthful for this outfit. So I took that out. It's easy enough if you at home have passion and nice save.
Yeah.
If you want to, take that out or put it back in, it's very easy. But this on her is a really, really nice fit. Lacy's waist is a little bit smaller and her bust sits a little bit higher and her neck is a little bit longer. So torso-wise, you've got slightly different dimensions, but nothing that really obstructs the way that a garment wears so far. Lacy's arms are not quite as defined or muscular as Grace's are, so the sleeves fit Grace, but they're a little more snug on the bicep. Otherwise, her legs are the same length. I think her rump is about the same around. The feet and the hands seem to be the same so far. And her head dimension is the same. So like hats and things they could share, but just so you can see them, side by side, they really are just neck and neck. They're very, very similar. Not the exact same bodies. Grace has a different rib cage so that she can sort of jostle around and has a little bit of mobility side to side, where Lacy is stationary that way. But I love this dress on Grace. I love the dress anyway, it's a knockout, but it goes to show that you really can wear the gown on any doll, and I think they're going to have a really nice, maybe shared wardrobe going forward.
For sure. So every month we are going to share the Lacy doll with the outfit that we have for Grace, and also Lacy's outfit on Grace.
Yeah.
And so you can really make that decision.
Yeah.
But I think Lacy is a wonderful companion. However you want to integrate her into Grace's world, she could be a friend.
Sure.
A frenemy.
Sure.
She could be
She's the villain.
She could be the villain.
Yeah, long lost sister.
Yeah, whatever you want, like coming back for her inheritance or something.
Sure, right.
I don't know. However you want to paint it. It could be as beautiful or as maniacal as you want it to be, but just focusing on the fashion though,
Sure.
and the doll itself, it's a incredible deal, and I just think this is so much fun to complement our subscription.
It's so beautiful. I actually, really quick note, we also have a really fabulous pair of shoes. I do love these shoes. They're not incredibly practical.
They don't stay on.
So you've got a teeny tiny lip at the back of the shoe that is meant to snug, over the edge of the heel.
It's very cool.
It's a very high fashion, gorgeous sort of scalloped shape along the side of the shoe there, but they are a looser fit. So if you are concerned about a shoe staying on, perhaps consider something as simple as Scotch tape on the underside of a foot, or maybe if you have access to something like museum wax, you could use that too.
Just a little something to hold it on.
I don't find that it's an issue unless you're like trying to travel, right? As long as she's standing, she's keeping her shoes on, but they're ornamental and less practical. Thank God she's not actually walking any place,
Right, and we want to share any type of fit adjustment or any type of thing that might be a surprise just right out of the gate before you buy it.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing. It's not a big deal, but that's the only thing. That's better than being too small.
Totally.
Which we've encountered before. So she is a lot of fun. So she is only $225, which is an incredible steal because the outfits are mix and matchable.
Yeah.
She comes with a stand.
Yeah.
She's beautifully packaged. She's another mannequin for you to display your dolls.
I just can't get over that face. I mean, I
know,
love...
the face is beautiful.
Hair is so much of doll play, and that is equally true of hair that maybe you're not brushing or styling or whatever. In a collection, what I think adds value is variety, and having her tiny little, like, warm, rusty, sort of cranberry cropped hair with that beautiful finger wave is so wonderful. I mean, there's nothing like that in my collection. She's so beautiful. And I love her face. I love her eyes. I love her cheekbones. I love her nose. I mean, her features are just really very striking and very, very realistic. One of the things that Robert is always able to capture so well is a sense of realism in dolls. And I know that so many of his collectors really do collect them because they look almost alive. They look like people. Tonner dolls are very much for the collector that wants their doll to look like a person. And Lacy, maybe even more than others, is very commanding, very alive. She seems real.
Oh, she looks and feels like a movie star too. So she doesn't look like the girl next door. Like, she's aspirational.
Yeah,
and
totally.
Her job of being like the CEO and doing all that, I just love that.
Yeah.
All of her outfits are super modern, super cool.
Yeah.
And we're going to have dolls. A couple of them have wigs. How many? Just maybe one.
I need
one
to
or
double
two.
check. I think we have at least one.
And throughout the series, there are going to be a couple that are priced as low as $150 too. So we have some gateway dolls and some really fun additions. So I think you're going to have a lot of fun with this, and especially the yin and the yang of the modern doll complementing with the historical fashions that we have. So
Totally.
No pressure, but it's a fun little add-on, and there's only 145.
Yeah.
Robert kept 5 of them for his archive. So
limited edition, less than usual. But another great way to play with, like you were saying, and like we said last year, a modern option, even though we're on sort of a journey through time, that you can still indulge your love of contemporary modern fashions. And you also just happen to get an excuse for a new doll with it as well.
if you want. So it's a lot of fun. This whole series has been a roller coaster of emotion, of thinking, of just, because we care so much.
Sure.
We care so much, and we really want everything that we put out. In fact, everything we do put out, because some things don't get out.
Right.
Everything we do put out, we understand the gravity of that, and we want to make sure that it is something that we would want, that we would say, hey, this is such a great value for this piece that I am buying.
Right.
And it's really well made. And so that's how this is, and everything here. I love looking back, Christopher, and seeing the display of the gloves we've put out that are so wonderful, and the undergarments, and I just love how we can incorporate so many of our antiques that have been here for 100 years that are just perfectly in theme of what we're trying to show. And also the Victorian underwear, nightgown. I love it. That's a must.
Totally.
If you don't have that, buy that to go with this. It is such a must.
A great companion piece.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it would be fun. I mean, sort of similar to what we did for Elowen recently, you know, the idea of going through her wardrobe. Now that we have one collection of historical garments specifically sort of behind us and under our belt, you can almost treat that as its own, you know, independent character, and Grace can go back through that wardrobe. And I realize that that spans many, you know, decades and whatever, but I thought what could be fun is at least going through her boudoir of just undergarments and accessories and hats and gloves and shoes and, you know, things that you might have when you're just getting ready to conjure your fashion for the day. What is the ensemble? Let it sort of speak to you and present itself, and going through your boudoir that way. So there are some really fun pieces I'll pan around and show you.
Yeah.
But this is sort of just a dreamscape, sort of, you know, if you had a doll boudoir in the clouds. This is sort of my thought on what that might sort of look like or feel like.
Well, thank you so much to Diana Vining for her wonderful illustrations. We have Grace sitting there getting ready at her boudoir. I love that. The reflection. And just everything we did for this box. Not every box, like I said, is going to be some opulent gown, and you wouldn't want 12 of those. It would actually get a little boring. By the time 5 or 6 of them rolled around, you're like, you know what? Let's shake it up a bit. So
not to
we're
mention,
going to be shaking it up.
It's a lot of space. You know, when you've got hoop skirts and crinolines and layers, sometimes those are very large fashions. The red Christmas dress is huge.
Yeah.
And so we've got things that are also smaller in silhouette that you can expect that are just as exciting, I think. It's about variety, you know. One
thing I will say that is just a little Easter egg is that just this week we got our sample in of the Catherine Parr outfit. Oh. And I almost passed away. Like, it was...
It's so beautiful.
It is so beautiful. I can't even look at it without almost crying. Like, it is just... and also, I'm sure that has a lot to do with my hormones right now. But it's true. I look at that outfit and I can't even believe...
It feels
that it is something that we have created with Ruby Red.
Possible to do.
And that it's possible to do.
Yeah.
This was done off of a master painting of Catherine Parr.
Yeah.
And it's just beyond.
It's really, 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 really extraordinary.
Yeah.
I realize that we're gassing it up, but I think you guys are going to be really impressed. I hope.
You're going to.
If that doesn't knock your socks off,
then God save you.
See your eye doctor.
Yeah. There's nothing that could impress you, honestly. If truly, honestly, and I am not, when we're not trying to be condescending, it is spectacular.
It's amazing.
I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
So we're very excited. We got in several samples this week that are just wonderful. We got in our Regency sample, which is wonderful. And I'm not spilling any secrets. We said we're doing Regency. We said we're doing Catherine Parr. So we have so much fun stuff coming.
It's very, very, very exciting.
Yeah. We love our job. So thank you so much.
Welcome to another month.
Luxurious layers.
Installment 2 of season 5. There are some really fun things up our sleeve. Up our beautifully constructed antiquated sleeves.
Yes.
So stay tuned for more.
We appreciate you so much, and thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to our wonderful team who does so much, and to our wonderful customers. We appreciate and love you. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.